Well guys, welcome into today's video. Thank you so much for joining me as always. Hope you're having a phenomenal day out there. Alright, in this video, I'm going to tell you why I have been buying a certain stock so big, like very heavily for 2021. And I just started buying this stock a couple weeks ago, basically within the past week or two. And I am building this position very aggressively, very fast, okay? This is going to be one of those beast videos where I go into my full bullish thesis on a company. And this is a company I've never gone into a full bullish thesis on. I've only mentioned it one other time, I think in literally the history of the channel. I'll give you my full bullish thesis on this, okay? I'm gonna show you exactly how much money I have in the stock right now. I'm gonna share with you exactly how much more money I'm gonna put in the stock. And I'm even gonna share with you the price points that I'm looking to buy. Where do I add aggressively? Where do I kind of chill back a little bit, okay? I am very confident that this will be my next home run stock, okay? And when I say my next home run stock, I'm basically talking about a stock that goes up 100% or more, okay? We have a very long list of home run stocks just in the past year or two. Like, it's been ridiculous, okay? And I feel this company I'm sharing with you here today will be my next one, okay? I think this stock has 2x plus potential in front of it, if not a lot more than that. This is a food company I'm gonna tell you about here today, okay? A food related company. Yeah, it's not a tech stock, although this company is highly innovative. It's not some tech stock or something like that, but this is a food company that I think is gonna at least 2x, if not a lot more than that in future years. And it's not Beyond Meat and it's not Very Good Food Company, my other two investments. You guys know I'm invested in Beyond Meat, right? And I'm also invested in the Very Good Food Company. Two other companies that are at very different stages. And this company kind of feels like it's in the stage right kind of between Beyond Meat and Very Good Food Company, where Very Good Food Company is very early days, right? Beyond Meat's more well established. I feel like this company I'm gonna tell you about here today is kind of right in between those two, okay? And no, it's not Coca-Cola. I just happened to see that headline and I was like, oh man, that's rough, okay? This is the most innovative time period we are living through right now in food since the 1940s and 1950s, okay? There's not been this much innovation in this space literally since the 40s and 50s. That's why I am investing in several different companies. You guys know I got the Beyond Meat investment, the Very Good Food, but now I'm adding this one on top. This is gonna be 3 super innovative companies that are participating in the food space. But I'm just looking at it and I'm like, this is a historic time we're going through. Literally, since, like, if you guys don't know, basically like fridges, okay, refrigerators, freezers and stuff like that, like it wasn't just like around from like the beginning of human history, okay? The fridges started becoming very popular after World War II in the 40s, okay? And in the 40s and 50s, it was a game-changing time period for food, okay? And a ton of massive food companies were built out of that time period, okay? TV dinners were created in the 50s, and it was just a special time for the food industry because of some of the technology that was happening at those particular times. And I'm looking right now and I'm like, I think the innovation speed is going way faster than back then. And this is a whole game changing, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy this video as always and enjoy this time period we're in human history when it comes to food, because this is the biggest game-changing time we've seen literally in decades and decades and decades, a long time, like generations, okay? If you don't mind, smash that thumbs up button. That helps the YouTube channel out massively. 10,000 is our goal today. I don't think we hit it yesterday, but I think this video is gonna be big enough that we could actually potentially hit 10,000 thumbs up on this video. So can we hit it? It's all up to you guys. I hope we can, all right? If you wanna join Stock Hub, it's absolutely free to do so. That's gonna be linked down in the description. Also have that as one as a pinned comments down there. And we actually have a category where you can talk about this particular stock we're talking about in this video. If you want to talk with 30,000 plus other investors out there. If you want to try to apply for my private stock group, you can also do that down in the description. I might also have that as one of the pinned comments. Alrighty guys, the time has come to divulge of this company. Tattooed Chef Corporation, ticker symbol TTCF on this one. It's right around a $20 stock as of today. It's been trading recently around a $1.2, $1.3 billion company, okay? And oh my goodness, am I bullish on this one, okay? I'm gonna share my full bullish thesis now, then we'll get into how much money I have in it, how much more money I'm looking to buy worth of this stock, and then price points, okay? Costco, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, they're in all those massive retailers already, okay? And they got a ton more SKUs coming for those retailers. And from my understanding, at pretty much every single one of those retailers, like sales are going very strong for this company. So it's not like they're just like getting in these retailers. And by the way, you don't just get in these retailers unless you're selling really well, okay? Costco doesn't just take you if you're not, you got to move big volume to be in Costco, okay? Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, you got to be moving big volumes to be in those type of retailers essentially at the end of the day. Let me show you guys some of their products, okay? I like their product packaging. I've tried many other different products. Here's just a bunch of them that they already have in the market. They got a bunch more coming. Super innovative company. And you can just tell their product packaging, like, once you buy one of their products, like you're going to be able to identify future products much easier, okay? I've tried so many of their products. As a look at my freezer. I have some of those cauliflower crust white pizzas, okay? I got some of those farmers market raclette. Is that what you call that? Oh man, I'm so bad at pronouncing some things, okay? The cold brew dark chocolate smoothie bowls, the Kai bowls. I've tried a ton of their different products out there. They got a quinoa product out there, some other things we've tried, and everything I've tried from the company has either been okay or good, and that's a good sign, okay? There hasn't been anything I've had where I'm like, oh, this is nasty. Like everything I've had has been like really good or just like an okay product, okay? Now they're also in Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, but when it comes to those retailers, they're in those from their private label. So they also have a private label business, okay, where they actually produce many different like vegetable related products, and they sell those to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, okay? So they're also in those big retailers as well, okay? And we'll get into my full bullish thesis, but let me just show you guys exactly how much I have as far as skin in the game for the stock as of right now, okay? So this is a public account. I have $85,000 worth of shares in that account right now. And then in my big dog main private account, I have over $200,000 worth of shares in this particular stock as of right now, okay? So Tattooed Chef, they had their analyst day, I think it was yesterday, the day before, okay? The days sometimes run together, all right? And I thought this was a really helpful presentation they put together, okay? So first off, where we're gonna start here is look at the growth over time. I mean, you go back to 2010, this is a company doing like $4 million in revenue, okay? And I mean, look where they're at here today. 148, they're talking about well over $200 million in revenue in 2021. And their big growth has really honestly picked up when they launched their Tattooed Chef products, okay? Their branded products, which is only like a few years old now, okay? This is more like a 2017, 2018, they really started exploring that. Before that, it was just a lot of private label stuff. Remember we talked about Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, some of those retailers. It was just, that was kind of like their big thing. And then the major growth started when Tattooed Chef products started coming out. And they really started coming out, in real for like the past year, okay? Now look at this growth. 2018, $47 million in revenue. Look at 2021 estimates. They're expecting $222 million of revenue. I love 222 million. Oh man, just something about all those twos together, okay? But look at that growth. I mean, you're talking about one of the faster growing food companies you're gonna find out there, okay? And if you look at the quarter over quarter, year over year, oh my gosh, I mean, 9.5 million to 60 million, my goodness. And keep in mind, this is with no investment in marketing or brand. So it's not like they got a bunch of commercials running everywhere all over the place. No, they don't, okay? And so that type of growth with basically no marketing spend is almost like historically impossible in the food industry. It's absolutely amazing what they've been able to do, okay? The company has over $90 million in cash on the balance sheet. And remember, we talked about this company, it was what, a $1.2, $1.3 billion market cap, so having 90 mil plus is a lot of money to have. They can reinvest that money back into the business, build out more manufacturing lines, all those sorts of things, which keep in mind, they have 200,000 square feet of manufacturing right now. They're expected to double capacity in 2020. They're expected to double capacity again in 2021, okay? So needless to say, this company is on a big build out. Their manufacturing lines are gonna be built and they're gonna be able to put out some crazy volumes out of these over time. And keep in mind, when you're in Costco, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, especially once they get into more of the grocery stores, which grocery stores is almost on tap for them right now. Never mind all those other retailers expanding. Like you're gonna need like huge manufacturing, okay, if you're going to take this business to billions of dollars, okay? And speaking about some of their long-term growth opportunities, obviously we talked about 222 million expected in 21. Companies talking about 300 million or so in 22. In 2023, the goal is to do over $500 million or somewhere around $500 million in revenue. I 100% agree with those numbers. I feel very confident that the company will hit those numbers. I think they'll do better than 222 this upcoming year, 2021, okay? I think they'll do better than 300 million in 22, and I think they'll do better than 500 million in 23. But I feel comfortable with those numbers at the end of the day, okay? Now, as far as the leadership team, obviously very important, especially for a smaller company, okay? All companies it's important, but especially for a smaller company. Sam Galletti, the guy in charge there, CEO and president, he's been in the food industry longer than I've been on this planet, okay? The guy is like, just a veteran in this industry, okay? And his daughter, Sarah Galletti, she's kind of like the one that's actually innovating. She's just like the superhero of the company when it comes to innovating products, coming out with something to market. You know, Sam said, you know, in interviews in the past where I've watched, he said essentially like Sarah's kind of like, you know, she can do things in a matter of days or weeks that other companies would take months or years to accomplish, as far as like the innovation and the R&D and just getting stuff done, man, and done well and tasting good and those sorts of things. So super impressed by just kind of those two specifically. You know, the rest of the management teams, from what I've seen so far, is good as well. But just those two are kind of, you know, if you're thinking about who's going to make this company successful or not successful, it's going to be riding with those two at the end of the day, and you have to really put your faith in them, okay? Now, in terms of SKUs, ton of SKUs, okay? And they're just continuing to expand SKUs. And it's not just about like, you getting a new SKU, but it's about actually getting those in the retailers, okay? So keep in mind, a lot of these SKUs are so new that they haven't even begun to get into a lot of these retailers yet, okay? This is a whole process, all right? And it takes, you know, sometimes a year, 2 years to get into some of these retailers. Then you expand and expand, and the company is gonna have a wide range of different SKUs out there. They'll test a lot of different things out. Some stuff will work really well, and it's gonna sell amazing, and other stuff won't work that well, and then you kind of kill off those SKUs, and the other ones you expand to other retailers. And the great thing is, as you get more and more results, you can show that to more and more retailers, and they're like, oh man, they're moving 10 units a day of blah 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 product over at this retailer. We got to get this as well, because retailers at the end of the day, like, all they care about is what's moving. What's gonna move if I put it in the freezer case or wherever, okay? What product is gonna move? And so that's what's huge for this company over time. Never mind, as this company expands into products that aren't in the freezer aisle, I mean, that's a whole other growth vector for this company, but the one they're going after right now is huge, okay? 2021, they have a massive marketing and advertising campaign going on, okay? And this is their first time they've ever done anything like this. This is gonna be huge for the brand of Tattooed Chef, okay? I think a lot of people that don't know anything about this company are gonna start to know the Tattooed Chef brand very soon, okay? They're gonna pour a lot of money into this. It's gonna be very exciting to see what results come from this, okay? They also launched an e-commerce business, so you can actually go on their website and actually buy the products straight from basically their own website, okay? The great thing about that business is you make, you know, way better margins on that than selling to retailers, right? Retailers are going to nickel and dime you all the way to get the product as cheap as possible, right? And on your own website, you can sell it for whatever price you want to sell it for, okay? They're building up a nice email list. And what I see as kind of being the big thing for e-commerce for this company over time is not necessarily like that ever becomes like a massive business for themselves, although, you know, it could potentially, that's not what I'm looking for. I think this is going to be really like a great innovation platform. Like, if you have this massive email list of customers that love your products, okay, you can like incentivize them to try some new product you have coming out, basically way before it gets into Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, Kroger, any of the other stores out there. I mean, that would be really exciting. People love to be the first, especially if it's a brand they're passionate about. They love to be the first to try it and give you feedback and those sorts of things. So I think that's a brilliant idea. And these are things that a lot of the established big food companies, they're not even thinking in these type of terms, okay? Because a lot of those big food companies are just a little too old school in their thinking at the end of the days, okay? Now, they've just started kind of getting into some big retailers or showing products, introducing the Tattooed Chef brand to some of these big retailers out there, okay? And so the two big ones, in my opinion, are obviously the Albertsons Safeway, which are kind of like one company, okay? That's, I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of huge grocery stores, and Kroger, which is the biggest grocer in the United States, okay? Those are, I mean, not to say all the other accounts don't matter, because they do. You know, you want to get into more and more of the other accounts, but at the end of the day, like the huge next growth vector, like 2022 through 2025, it's going to be getting in all those big, huge grocery stores and getting your products distributed in those and starting out with 5 SKUs and then going to 10 SKUs, 15, 20, and kind of just continuing to move up the chain there, okay? Now, as far as like the Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, Target opportunity, keep in mind, this is a huge long-term opportunity, okay? Because it's not even like the company, as of today at least, is in every single Walmart or Sam's Club or Costco or Target. That's gonna happen over time, okay? It just takes time to kind of get distribution across all the Walmarts and all the Sam's Clubs and all the Costcos and all the Targets. Like, it takes time, okay? That's a huge long-term opportunity. Never mind that, it's all about the SKUs. It's gonna be all about getting more and more SKUs into these retailers. So maybe they carried 5 products, but eventually over time they carried 10 and then 15 and things like that. Look at this, okay? This is a case study with Walmart, okay? And I call it the land and expand. Land and expand. So they started with 5 products, 5 different SKUs in 467 different Walmarts, okay? Or, you know, that was a maximum amount they could be in. It could have been less than that, okay? And basically now there's been, you know, something that's happened where obviously they must be selling pretty good, that now they're going to likely go up to 11 SKUs and they're likely going to get more mass distribution in Walmart, okay? That's what I call land and expand. So you get in a retailer, you show them that you can do sales for your products, okay? And then you expand more SKUs and more SKUs. And so they basically grant you more and more spots in the store. And keep in mind, these stores only have so many different spots, right? But at the end of the day, there's a lot of products that don't move that great, and those ones are just waiting to be taken over. And a company like Tattooed Chef, they look like they're in a really good position to take out a lot of those companies that just aren't moving products at the end of the day, okay? This company is vertically integrated. And this is sometimes something you might hear talked about with some special tech companies. It's a vertically integrated company, okay? You don't hear it talked about that much in the food industry, but it's kind of beautiful. The company can innovate. They design their own packaging, how they want it done, everything like that. They plant the product, they grow the product, and they manufacture it all. And so it's such a vertically integrated company that they can out-innovate a lot of these other companies out there, okay? They can maneuver so much faster than, you know, a lot of these old school food companies, okay? They're lucky to come out with a couple new SKUs a year. And here this company is, they could potentially come out with 20, 30, 40, 50 new SKUs per year. See what's hitting, see what's not, kill off what's not, and make the stuff that's gonna be, you know, successful, okay? And keep in mind, as I'm doing this presentation, we're only talking about United States of America opportunity, okay? We're not even talking about the opportunity for Tattooed Chef in Europe and across the world, okay? We're just literally talking about the United States of America. So think about how big the opportunity for this company is long term as a vertically integrated company. I mean, it is a pretty special opportunity in my personal opinion, okay? Look at the financial performance. Revenue is up 87% year over year, gross profit up 17% year over year, and adjusted EBITDA up 126% year over year. Those are very, very impressive numbers, okay? Now, they even did some very long-term guidance, okay? Or kind of guesstimates on what revenue could be, gross margins could be in the future, okay? So 2021, like we talked about, 222 million. I think they're gonna beat that. I think they're gonna come in with 240 to 250, okay? 2022, they're talking about 300 million. 2023, they're expecting that to be the first year they crack around $500 million in revenue. And then 2026, they have themselves doing $1 billion of revenue, 35% plus gross margin, and adjusted EBITDA 20% as a percent of sales, okay? So those numbers are interesting, okay? But my personal opinion, I think they're gonna crack $1 billion for the first time actually in 2025. But when I was running my numbers and on what I expect them to get distribution-wise over the coming years, and you know, as far as more SKUs out there, then their longer term opportunity. By 2025, they should start to be in, you know, Europe even as well. I think they'll crack $1 billion for the first time actually in 25, okay? With very healthy gross margins, 35% plus, very healthy adjusted EBITDA. And so that's what I personally see. And if they can do that, I mean, that's just, you know, destroying the numbers. Obviously, if you're, you know, the CEO, the president of the company, you want to take a little more of a careful approach, let's call it that, okay? And I'm all for that. I would rather have them, you know, beat to the upside than disappoint investors because they don't hit these numbers. But I definitely think some of these numbers are conservative. And like I said, 2025, in my opinion, will be the first year they crack $1 billion in revenue, okay? And the great thing about that is, even after 2025, this company, as long as they continue to keep the pedal to the metal, they should have a massive upside from there, okay? Now, this just came out last week, okay? This is big news, all right? Tattooed Chef, newest innovation, features plant-based meat alternatives. They're coming out with a plant-based pepperoni product, which I already tried on their cauliflower pizza bowls. Very good, actually, like very good. Now, I'm not just talking about the pizza bowls themselves, but I'm talking about the actual pepperoni in those bowls. Delicious, like some of the best tasting, like, you know, even though it's like quote unquote fake pepperoni, right? Some of the best pepperoni I've ever had in my life. I was like, this is actually got an incredible kickback to it and an incredible taste, okay? So I'm really excited to see what that's gonna do long term. And then they're also coming out with a plant-based sausage product as well. So I'm pumped, man. I gotta say, like I said, you know, I guess that Sarah Galletti, it's just in her blood. Like her dad was in the food business for 100 years, man, and it's just in her blood or something. Because I'm trying some of these products, I'm like, dang, these actually have some pretty darn good taste. And for how new school this company is and making these type of products, like they've only been doing this for a couple years. Like imagine where the company's gonna be at 5 years, 10 years from now, as far as the taste of their products and how well they're doing things. It's incredible, right? Now, in terms of valuation, here's where I think things get really compelling with Tattooed Chef, okay? And once again, it's a 1.2, let's say $1.3 billion market cap, something like that as of today, as of recording this, right? In my opinion, in 2025, based upon the numbers I ran, I think this company will be doing anywhere from $100 million at the low end to up to $200 million in net income in 2025. We're talking the money reaching the bottom line, okay? And if that's the case, like I'm paying, you know, let's say a 6 to 12 2025 4P for this company. And I can say that's a deal and a half in my personal opinion, considering I think this company is going to have massive growth way after 2025. I don't think the company's just going to be like 2025 hits and it's like, oh, we're done. You know, I don't think that's going to be the situation at all. So when I look at a valuation like that and I can make sense of it and it looks ridiculously silly cheap, I can easily see why this stock can potentially be a 2x, 3x, 4x, if not a 5x stock over the next 5 years or so. Because you just start running the numbers and it's like, oh, this is pretty darn big, okay? Now, as far as price points for buying the stock, under 20, loading the boat. That's why I've been loading the boat. Like literally been loading up on shares. You know, you guys saw, I showed you, you know, all the shares I own already. It was like $80,000 or whatever. And that was in a matter of just the past week or two. I've just been loading the boat on anything under 20, okay? Under 25, I like it a lot. It's still definitely a buy range for me. And even anything under 30 is still very interesting from a buy standpoint for me, okay? It's just under 20s where I'm loading. It's like, just give me the shares, okay? But yeah, all the way up to 30. If it goes over $30, let's say it goes to 31, 32, 33, 35, then I'm just gonna be holding at that point. Not really interested in buying anymore. I've already bought the stock very aggressively. I could continue to buy it. So anything over 30, I'm good. I'll just hold at that point, okay? If you're wondering how much more I could potentially put in the stock, I see myself buying another $100,000 worth of the Tattooed Chef company, okay? About another 100K. That's what I could potentially see, okay? Now, let's talk about the risk, okay? The main risk I see with this company is if they were to get complacent, okay? So let's say, hypothetically, they just get lazy, they stop innovating products, they stop caring about getting more SKUs, and they just, I don't know, they just get complacent, which sometimes happens with companies. That's obviously the risk with this company, okay, that I could run into, where they get complacent, they don't continue to innovate, they don't continue to excite their customer base or things like that, okay? That's a risk, and I'm willing to take that risk in the stock, okay? And that's something that could always be said for any company. But I will say, if there's one industry where you can be complacent and it's actually okay, it's the food industry, okay? I mean, you look at, like, I don't know, like cookie companies, for instance, okay? Like Chips Ahoy, they haven't done much there for like 100 years, okay? And people still go buy Chips Ahoy, okay? Oreos, they might come out with a different look of an Oreo, right? Like, oh, it's Halloween time, so we got an orange Oreo or something like that, right? I mean, look at that company. It's been like, you know, there for 100 years, right? TV dinner companies, like, if there is one industry you can be a little more complacent, it's the food industry. I do not expect this company to get complacent, but that is a risk, and that's something I have to be willing to take, is if they got lazy and they just were like, whatever, okay? I hope that's not the scenario, okay? But the reward for me on when it comes to this company is I can 2x to 4x my money over the next 5 years. So I'm looking at this, And I'm saying there's not much downside in my personal opinion, actually very little downside potential. Is this a stock I could see falling 50-60%? Not really, okay, unless there was some, I mean, literally it's hard to imagine the stock falling 50%. Like I literally can't even go there. It just doesn't even make sense, okay? The worst case scenario, in my opinion, is just kind of like the stock would be stagnant for years because they just stop innovating, they stop, you know, caring about growing the company or something like that, okay? But the reward potential, literally 2x to 4x my money over the next 5 years. And so I'm looking at this and I'm like, can this company become a $3 billion, $4 billion, $5 billion company over the next 5 years? I honestly think it can easily become that. When I look at, you know, they're the perfect type of company to capitalize on this massive growing trend of people changing diets and the way they eat. And just this whole massive change in the food industry we're going through right now, okay? And so when I look at it from that perspective, it's too darn attractive of a stock for me to say, nah, let me just stay out of it. But I really want to hear from you guys. You know, look into this company a little bit and let me know what you think about it. I really want to hear from you guys in that comment section and maybe even come back to this video in the future once you've looked into the company. I would love to hear from you guys on your perspective on Tattooed Chef and if you think this is a potential huge stock in the future. Now, my hope with this stock is if people want to invest in this company with me, I'm hoping that people are really in it for the long term because this is a type of company that has like 5, 10, 15 years of huge growth in front of them, in my personal opinion. So I'm hoping like if people buy into this, they're not just buying into it just for a short-term trade or because, oh, Jeremy talked about it, so it's going to go up 10, 20, 30% or something like that. I'm really hoping that if anybody buys in, they're actually like coming from it from a standpoint like I am, where I'm looking at this company, I'm like, why would I just, like, I could have already sold off the stock, but why would I sell off the stock after a 10, 20, 30% gain? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, this is a company that could potentially double, triple, quadruple up my money with, I think, limited downside. So when it's that type of scenario, it's like, why would I want to sell off with like a little money? Like, why do I want to chase the breadcrumbs at the end of the day? Like, I want the loaf of bread at the end. So my hope is if other people buy into the stock, like they're coming from my same standpoint of being a long-term investor, because this is a very promising company. You want to learn more about it, you can check them out. Just Google like Tattooed Chef and go their investor page or whatever. Pretty exciting stock. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, me sharing this with you. As always, 10,000 thumbs up is the goal for today's video. Smash it if you don't mind. We're going to try to, you know, break a record and hit a crazy number. And I think this is a type of video maybe we could do it on. If you want to try to apply for my private stock group and learn everything I look for in stocks, how to run a portfolio, how to make money from the stock market, all those sorts of things, you can also apply down in the comments section. I'll probably have like the pinned comment, and I'll also have Stock Hub linked in the pinned comment. We have a Tattooed Chef category I created a few days ago in Stock Hub. Actually, it might have been like a week ago. So that's one of the most popular chats. If you want to chat about this stock with a ton of other investors in the market, you can do so down there. Thank you for watching and have a great day.